Yeah, hi there. These comments are for AS. I'm just using your initials for privacy purposes, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. And you completed independent speaking practice test number 2. And the question here is, choose an event that has meaning for you. Explain how it has changed you.
The most important event in my life is when I failed in 11th grade in high school. It was bad time for me because I was the first person to fail in my family.
Okay.
But this doesn't take long time. As soon as I...
But this doesn't take long time. I would say, but this did not take a long time. You're talking about something in the past, which means you want to use past tense verbs.
Failed, I recovered, and that failure make me a hard worker student.
Okay.
I start to think about my future.
I started to think about my future. You might say, at that time, I started to think about my future.
Which I never thought about. Just 7 years later, I was the first engineer in my family.
Wow.
I think this is my most important event in my life.
Okay.
Because that event changed me from a failed student to an engineer.
Right. So how about from a failed student to a successful student who was able to get an engineering degree, you might say, something along those lines. All right, so now let's take a look at the actual rubrics for this particular practice test. Okay, here we go. So how will you score here? So when we look at the question, you did talk about an event, so that's good. I think in terms of delivery, you're having a lot of problems with your pronunciation. You're speaking a little bit too slowly. You're making a lot of pauses in there. So in order to help correct that pronunciation problem, I do have some recommendations. I recommend go to the pronunciation area of my course. Let me show you what I'm talking about right now. So I'm going to go to my course right now. I show you where you can work, where you can do some practice. And this will also help you. I know that you're one of my English language program students, and you're also working on your pronunciation final exam this weekend. So I sent you your final exam by email. Okay, so let's take a look here. So if you go to my website and you type in your username and your password, go to the pronunciation area of my course. So let me go down here. So I'm going to jump. I'm going to Step 2, Section 2. And here, my recommendation is, I think syllable division and grammatical word endings, you're having trouble. So that's lessons 26 through 28. Also, sentence rhythm, lessons 33 through 35. Intonation, lessons 36 through 40, and then thought groups and blending, 41 through 44. So you basically have considerable problems in those areas. And in order for you to speak more clearly and to speak more fluently, you should go through those lessons. You may not be able to do it in 1 week, but you should go through those lessons. And as you go through the lessons, read out loud with me as I teach you the information in those videos. That's going to be very, very helpful for you. All right? A little bit of practice every day goes a long, long way when it comes to your English proficiency. Obviously, watch a lot of TV. Talk to native speakers as much as you can, and try to speak English as often as you can. This is very important. Language use, you had some problems with your verb tenses, as I pointed out, and you have a tendency to use fairly basic grammar and basic vocabulary. So you could improve in those areas as well. Topic development, you answered the question and you did have some details, but you expressed mostly basic ideas with limited details and support, right? So your score here, I'm going to put you at about 2.3 out of 4, or 18 points out of 30 on this practice test. All right, now let's take a look at our class here and see what your grade is. Okay, for the speaking, so I gave you 2.3. This is going to put you at 80%. So in order to get better, you have to do a few things. Number one, you have to improve your pronunciation. That's going to help you a lot. Number two, you need to use more or a combination of both basic and advanced vocabulary and grammar. So you should improve that. And then when you get to your details, see the vocabulary is also connected to your topic development, because the better your vocabulary, the more specific you can get when you explain your ideas. All right, anyway, thank you for completing this practice test.